everyone, Amanda here from Scrimpingmommy.co.uk, and today I've got this lovely box to share with you, and it opens up to reveal a cute little surprise, and it is a flip lid and drop sides. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to make this box. Before we start, I just want to explain to you that there's several ways you can use this box. First of all, when we construct the box, you can cut these two tabs away and just have these, then that is like a little explosion box, okay? Or you can lift these sides up and adhere them permanently to those sides, so then you've got a flip lid and then just a drop front. Or you can have it like me and just have it with all the flaps. You can add extra sentiments there. I like it because it adds a bit of stability to this box, so that all lifts up. And in here I've got a little wax melt, but you can put candles in here, lip balms, the Body Shop lip balms fit, if I can get it back together. It's because I haven't got my flaps all the way out. Quite a few different things. Tea lights will fit in, lots of different things, and when it's finished it is 2 by 2 by 2, and I think it's lovely. I love how it just flaps open like so. So I'm going to show you how we are going to make it. And this little wax melt I got locally from Home Bargains, and I think it was about 40p, so this makes a really cheap little gift. So we're starting with a piece of Whisper white cardstock, and this measures 9 by 6, and we're going to score it on the long side, and we're going to score at 2 inch, 4 inch, 6 and 8. Then we're going to turn it anti-clockwise, so you're turning it to your left, and we're going to score at let me just check, 2 and 4. Okay, and then while we're here, what's that bit I not get off? We're going to score at 1 inch and 5 inch, but we're only going to score, there's a score line there and a score line there, so we're scoring up to the second score line only at 1 inch and 5 inches, up to the second score line only. Okay, I'll just move that out of the way. And then we have a second piece. This is for our little wax melt or lip balm or candle, anything, loads of different things you can use them for, and this is what it's going to sit in. This is going to cradle it, and this measures 5.5 by 2, and we're going to score it on the long side at 2 inch, 2.5 inch, 4.5 and 5. And then we can move that out of the way. Now, I have found that when I'm working with white cardstock, if the light gets blurry, you can't see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to remove my mat and my Stampin' Up logo, just because I'm using white, so it's easier for you to see. Okay, just get rid of all of the bits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold and burnish all of those score lines first on the large piece. I'm going to leave all of the measurements to this over on my blog at scrimpingmommy.co.uk, so don't worry, you don't need to be writing them down, they'll all be there listed. And if you go in the description box below the video, there will be a direct link as well. Okay, so that's that. Now I've used thick Whisper white here and thick Whisper white here, just to give it a little bit more stability. So I'm going to just fold and burnish those little ends as well. Right, so if we have it this way, we've got the short score line there to our right. So what I'm going to do first of all is, you will see the 2 score lines that we did, just going up to the second score line. Okay, we can cut all of that part away. So cut down from the first little square on the left, all the way down to the second score line. And we can just cut that away. Now, instead of just cutting this tiny little flap, we can do all in one go, and we can cut all the way down to that score line, which releases this part of this square here as well. Just killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Okay, and then here where we've got the little square, that's going to fold round into a tab, so we want to release that. and we also want to just gently notch it on each side. Okay, so far we've got that. So now we're going to turn it around and we're going to do exactly the same on this side. So this first square and this first rectangle, we're going to cut away up to the second score line. And then when we get there, we're going to cut all the way down to the first score line. Okay, like so. Then we're going to come here and we're going to release this tab. So we're cutting up to the first score line and then we are notching at either side. Okay. So far we've got this. Alright, just remove these bits. Hopefully having it on the black background you'll be able to see that bit better. Right, so what we want to do now, I'm just going to trim that because that's not awfully straight. Let me just trim that. I've just left quite a big bump of a score line behind. If you've got a big bump of a score line, trim it out. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to release each of these. We've got 3 squares there and 3 squares there. We're going to release them so that they flaps. So we cut in each one of them up to the centre score line. Okay. Okay. Right, so there we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut away the 2 bottom corners. So the right hand corner here, I'm going to cut that away. And the left hand one, I'm going to cut away as well. We don't need those, but save those because that's a nice square piece you can use for another project or for your sentiments. Okay, so we've got that shape. Now if you want the traditional exploding box, which is a star shape, cut these 2 parts away as well. Okay, I'm just leaving them in. Why not? So what we're going to do while we're here is I've got some DSP and I'm using the needlepoint nook, I think it's called, and I'm going to layer that on those 4 sides, and I've got 1 for the lid. And these all measure 1 7/8 by 1 7/8. Okay. It doesn't really matter which way up the facing. Okay, I'm just going to reach and bring in my mini grid pad because I like, when I've got it on the black, it's not very cushiony. So let me just move that over so I've got a little bit of a cushion surface. This is meant to be for the Stamparatus, but I really, really love it and I use it all of the time when I'm just, you know, working, and I have it to the side of me. Right, so let's get these on. I'm using snail for quickness. Save that for the lid. Which way up? It doesn't matter which way up they go, but sometimes, you know, you can see a specific kind of direction. Just go with it. Just do what you think. If you are really worried about it, then as you're cutting them, notice which way up they're going. When it's a busy pattern, I don't think it really matters. Okay, so those are those. Alright, so whilst I'm here, I'm going to do my centrepiece. So I've done all of the scoring and the burnishing here. Now I've worked out that for my little shape, I need the nearest circle punch that I can use is my 1.5 inch. It can be quite difficult because quite often these things are narrower at the bottom than they are at the top, so you get the nearest one you can. Alright, and what I've done is I've just punched out a scrap, and so I can sit it on there and get it central, so then I know where to punch. Okay, punch that out. So there I've got my little circle. Now what I'm going to do, because this isn't a perfect fit, I'm just going to do tiny snips every 15 minutes. So imagine it's a clock, so do 12 on the hour, 2:30, 2:45, and 2:15 of just a sliver of a cat's whisker of a a butterfly kisses measurement, tiny snip. And what that'll do is it'll just help your whatever shape you've got nestle in there just that little bit nicer. Okay, so now I'm going to put some tape on this narrow part here. Move my punch out the way. Okay. Don't cut this sticky stuff with your best scissors. I have separate scissors for cutting sticky stuff, and if they do get sticky, clean your scissors with nail varnish remover or surgical spirits, or what else can you use? WD-40, there's loads of stuff. Just be very careful when you're cleaning your scissors, because obviously the blades are sharp. Right, so there is my little cradle that's going to hold my little doofer, and I'm just going to put a little bit of wet glue on there. And you want you've got 2 open sides and 2 closed sides. You want the closed side to the front. And sit that in there, it just fits nicely. Okay, and then my little wax melt will just sit in there. Like I say, I have tried it with candles, I've tried it with tea lights, it works on the Body Shop lip balms. Oh, I've torn mine now. Let me just, I pressed too hard there and I've torn it. So let me take that off. I pressed it too hard. Let me take it off and quickly make another one. And don't press it too hard like I just did with mine. What a nana. Right, let me do it again. Let me get my trimmer. 5.5 by 2. I'll just use my trimmer to score while I'm here. We're scoring at 2.5, 4.5 and 5. Get my little template back. Not to worry, I just need to be more careful. It's because I was rushing for the video. 1.5 inch. Circle punch. Fold and burnish. Sorry about that, I was a little bit heavy-handed with it. A little bit more sticky tape, not to worry. I'm not editing it. It takes too long. I'm patience. There we go. Stick that on there like so. Just do my tiny snips, because it does make a difference. I find it does. Okay. Okay. Teeny tiny snips. Let's try again. Don't matter, you won't see any of that where I've wrecked my box, because this will cover it over. And I'm using thick Whisper White, so it won't do anything. You know, just if you make a mistake or something goes wrong, just take it off and redo it. There we go. We have got quite a narrow margin there, you see, between those. So it is a weak point. So you've seen me there, just rip mine. So be careful with yours. Okay. Put that in gently and carefully. Okay. There we go. Right. So what I can do now is I can just do the flaps of my box and attach those with some strong tape. I'll tell you another secret. I have done this video once, and when I watched it back, because I had not used the black mat, you couldn't see what I was doing with the white cardstock, so I have redone it. I was like, shall I just leave it? Shall I just not bother? And then I was like, no, because it's a lovely little box. I want to share it, so I've redone it. Redone it all. And deleted the first one. Okay, get that little red line tape off. Alright, we're back, we're cooking with gas. So I'm attaching that flap to there and that flap to there. Okay. So like I say, you can remove those two tabs if you want. I'm going to fold them in like that because it adds strength to this. Okay. Now I'm just going to do a quick sentiment. And I've taken one from the Well Said set. I love it. It's the best set in the world. It's got 51 different stamps in. So you've got like sentiments, and then these are like a bit more in depth. Some of them, like you could put them on the inside of cards. But anyway, I'm going to have this one. It says, my life is better because you are in it. So, piece of scrap. What colour ink am I using? I'm using Highland Heather because there's Highland Heather in the paper. So it all goes together nicely. Okay, another reason why I like this little tiny stamp pad. I love it. Stamping in the corner there. I needed to press on a bit harder, so let's do that again. In the corner there. There we go. Oh, now I've pressed on too hard and I've over-inked. This project is just not going to win. Although that's not straight now. Never mind. Let's continue. I shall cut it straight myself with my big scissors. Okay, so trim it around. And I will just straighten that up. There we go. I'm getting better at this. Cutting straight like. There we go. Cute little sentiment. With some of this clutter. And what I'm going to do just to make it stand out is I'm just going to quickly flick it with some ink around the edges. And then I'm going to attach it to the inside of my box. I'm not going to mount it on dimensionals. And the reason being, if I did, it wouldn't shut properly. You know, it would interfere with the closing of the box. So, my sentiment is just going to go the right way around. Here. My life is better because you're in it. Super cute. Okay. So then, I fold those in first. Lift those up. Lift that up. And then my box will shut beautifully. Okay. So I've cut some DSP again for the lid. Get off. So we'll put that on. 1 7/8 by 1 7/8. It just fits on there nicely. And then I've got some for the side pieces. Are those the correct? I don't know if I've cut those correct. That one is, and that one doesn't look right like it's right. Okay, so let me get my trimmer. So these should be 3/4 of it, 7/8 of an inch by 1 7/8. Right, that's 1 7/8. So I want 7/8 of an inch. So it wants to be there. Okay, which is just a little notch before 1. Cut, not score. There we go. Discard that piece, it's too small. Get these on. So we have got one for the front. I'm having it that way. There we go. And we've got one for each of the 2 sides. One there. And one there. And then I'm going to add some beautiful, beautiful ribbon to just, I mean, it doesn't need ribbon because it won't open. It's just a little bit of extra. Now this is this is the Celebration Organdy ribbon, which, you know, has sold out because it's been so super popular. However, I do have quite a lot on back order. So when it comes in, all those who shop with me next month, I think, it'll be probably a week or so before it comes. So whenever it comes, whoever shops with me in that month will get some of it for free. Whether I'm dividing it up so everybody gets a bit of each colour, or whether you'll just get a full reel, will just depend on how much I actually get of my back order. Because I did order quite a lot. And so I'll share it. You know, I won't keep it for myself. I will share it with my customers. Along with their free card class in the post that they get. So I'm going to cut that at an angle and cut that at an angle the other way, and there we are, we've got our lovely box. We got there in the end. So even there, filmed it twice. There you go, we've done. And it's a cute little box, and like I say, you can use this box 3 different ways, so learn the basic template and run with it. There you go, it's a great one to have in your crafty repertoire. All the measurements will be over at scrimpingmommy.co.uk. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye!